You know, I think it's kind of strange how, Butch Hartman and Nickelodeon suddenly decided to make a reboot of the Fairly OddParents live action. That's like 5 years after the original series and production. That was back in 2017. I got a lot of clothes that are older than that, including this shirt. You know, the Kings and Queens of 2017. And yeah, I talked about Raul Garcia last time, but another talented animator who got the short end of the stick here is Craig Kelman. Raul Garcia was the lead animator, but also feel very bad for this other guy, Craig Kelman.
I'm the administrative director,
character designer for the Fairly OddParents. And I'm really sad for him because he used to do character design for a lot of cool animated series back in the 90s and 2000s.
I'm the administrative director at the President's Office here at Montco. I am a longtime radio listener, but a first-time host.
He designed the characters for Batman the Animated Series, Bobby's World, The Critic.
And I'll hear no arguments. REM. He also
designed characters for Hotel Transylvania,
and 16
Clouds of
studio
Chance
albums,
Meatballs.
starting with their first live show on April 5th, 1980.
Yeah.
Anyways, yes. They have a
very sad to see Craig Kelman and Raul Garcia reduced to.
My only goal is to share some
very
of
sad
my
to see Craig Kelman and Raul Garcia reduced
my fellow
to.
fans might very well have an entirely different set for
reduced to
you,
the Fairly
but this is
OddParents,
my
Fairly
time,
Odd,
and
or
I have been given the freedom to do as I
Animaniacs.
see
I think he's designed characters for Animaniacs too.
Fun fact for all the locals, the instrumental song playing in the background is called Zither. It's from their 10th studio album, New Adventures in Hi-Fi. REM recorded a lot of that album while on tour, and that song in particular was recorded in the dressing room of the Spectrum in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania in October 1995.
Oh my gosh, he also designed characters for.
I'll take your natural.
He also designed characters for the Twisted Tales of Felix the Cat, Toonsylvania, the Powerpuff Girls movie, and the Powerpuff Girls Rule. And the Anatommy of Madagascar series, not the movie. We also designed characters for the movie.
In any case,
Yep, he's designed characters for the series and the movie.
Yeah. Was when I was maybe 12 or 13.
Yeah, he designed a lot of characters for a lot of good animated films and television shows. It's really sad to see both Raul Garcia and Craig Kelman introduced to Fairly Odd, or when I guess maybe they might be the only people at Boxall Studio who have enough experience to make Cosmo, Wanda, and Jorgen look even passable to how they did in the original series. Shame that Fairly Odd because there's not a budget to make animated characters as important as live action characters. Such a shame they got to throw away all the lore of the original Fairly OddParents with pixies and genies, Fairy World, Titania. We don't get to see any of those locations like that in Fairly Odd, except for a few episodes in Fairy World.
And the honky-tonk piano. It's called Perfect Circle.
The only thing the only credit I can give Fairly Odd is that I can actually
has always been one of my favorite REM songs.
Is that I have an easier time watching it than the 19th season of the Fairly OddParents, mainly because
watching the landscape flash by.
Mainly because I'm not really interested in seeing the main characters of the Fairly OddParents do more of the same stories, ignoring other supporting characters of the Fairly OddParents that made the show full and vibrant before. And because Sparky and Chloe never shut up. It's both pretty loud and annoying, and it's nice to get away from them in Fairly Odd, but yeah, I'm also, even though he didn't like food before, Just Stop is really disappointed at the lack of food in Fairly Odder, and
I was quitting
it's also very sad
and moving
that
across the country to get my master's degree.
That would have actually been kind of nice if it turned out that Remy Buxaplenty, if they really cared about having a little more, retaining a little more of the spirit of the Fairly OddParents in Fairly Odder, they could have implied that Remy Buxaplenty did the same thing Timmy Turner did. Maybe Remy Buxaplenty also had a fairy permission scroll that he used to pass down his fairies to Nate Buxaplenty, who, his money is another big piece of evidence for how cheap the show is, because they don't have the budget. They apparently don't even have the budget for realistic prop money like. that look like the Stoller,
This next song reminds me of being
They,
a kid. When your
like you said,
family
it looks like an art. His words, it looked like,
going to bed
in
early
Just
in the
Stop's words, it
summer
looked,
when it's still light,
Nate Buxaplenty's
listening
money
to
just
the
looked like
voices
a
in
large
the
Monopoly
house.
money, it just,
Even the sound of crickets to sing you
Yeah.
to sleep. You feel such peace and
I knew,
absolute. This is.
I
you are
also
the
knew,
everything.
before he said that, his money just looked like play money from a board game. It didn't look real, it was too green. Not enough detail put
Where?
into it.
Like you would say, like, this is such and such and such and such.
Yeah, it would have been nice if Cosmo and Wanda had to compete with Juandissimo, because it would have made Nate Buxaplenty more powerful as an antagonist against Vivian and Roy if Remy Buxaplenty also did the fairy permission scroll thing like Timmy Turner did to pass down Juandissimo to Nate Buxaplenty. I never thought I'd say this, but I actually would kind of appreciate it
Okay.
if they still kept Juandissimo in the show with Nate
I'm going to read you the last one
Buxaplenty,
with that
because
because I think the rest maybe don't.
at least then it would show me that the Fairly Oddder cared more about
This next
preserving
song
the memory
reminds me of being a kid.
of the
When
animated
your
fairy
family
characters
is
and
your
just
whole
having the
world.
bare
Family road
necessary
trips,
minimum
going
in
to
there.
bed early in the summer when it's still light, and listening to the
I mean,
voices
I'm surprised
in the
they even
house.
remembered to
Even the
include
sound of crickets to
anti-Sparky
sing you
in
to sleep. You feel
Very well
such peace
prison.
and absolute. This is You Are the Everything on Mako Radio,
They don't
where
remember
music
because
and minds meet.
they don't acknowledge the existence of Chloe Carmichael and Timmy's head off to college.
Day Sleeper is another song I've always loved, but can't say why. Instead,
Yeah,
I'll just send it
so,
out to all my friends who
Fairly
work the
Odder,
second
there is
and third
one-
shifts here at Mako.
There are two moments
They know
in
how
Fairly
much I
Oddder that actually
appreciate
did
them.
make me laugh. At least there's the first was when
Walk Unafraid
it had actually
lights
had a
up my
really,
soul.
the second episode had a really good,
And one day,
with the
I'm gonna get a
forbidden
tattoo
message,
on my arm that
forbidden
says,
phrase,
Walk Unafraid.
monkey dance.
You might call it my
It
own
had a very
personal
good, it
anthem.
actually had a very
I
funny
listen
callback
it
to the
when I
original,
need to
to running
remind
gags from the
myself
original
who
Fairly
and
OddParents
what I
series, in
am
which
or strive to be.
first
Which is brave,
Xena and
capable,
then
and not afraid of anything.
Vivian and Roy's parents asked them where they got a guitar,
This next
how they
song is the most
keyboard,
beautiful song
how they
that
learned to play
R.E.M.
music
and
so
maybe
quickly,
anyone else
and then they
ever
respond
wrote.
with that classic
I
Fairly
listen to it
OddParents
and
response
nearly
that Timmy
always feel a catch in my throat.
also answered
me,
to
it's
many
all the
other characters who don't know
nostalgia
about
and
fairies.
poignancy of an adult
The internet!
looking back on maybe one of the last
Yeah, it really predicted
carefree
how
moments
useful
of
the
their
internet would
lives
become.
before they crashed
that
into
started in the
adulthood.
21st century. And they
Oh, and
even
the
had an episode
imagery.
of Timmy and the
Listen to this
Internet
line.
called Information
I'm
Stupid
pining
Highway,
for
which
the moon. And
I
what if
actually
there were
sort of
two
thought it.
side by
I actually
side
sort
in
of
orbit
remember watching
around
parts of
the
it as a kid,
fair
and
sun? My
I used to
goodness.
think that was Bubbles
This
who
is night
did
swimming.
the Internet, but he's in danger to get eaten by that thing, eating the
this will be the
photos, and
last
almost got
one,
burned inside the computer. But
It's like a
and it's not
7-minute
because
song.
Timmy and Bubbles had the same voice actor, because I wasn't really paying attention to shared voice actor names yet.
Now that I've
It's just
lulled you
because I
with the
had my
beauty of
memories of
piano
that.
and strings,
I just
I'm
had some of
going
my
to wake you up
memories of
before I leave you.
Information Stupid
This
Highway
song
mixed up
always twines something in my musical
with
center.
Boogie
Do
Fights.
not, I repeat, do not
That's when
be
Bubbles
lulled by
had
the
to
first minute of this
shoot
song.
lasers into
I
the
want you to
disco
turn up
ball
your
like
radio,
the Death Star from
Mako
Star Wars,
Radio, and just wait for it.
so that the
I'm
boogeyman
Tiffany,
would block out the sun
and I
forever.
hope you enjoyed this journey into the world of REM.
And the other time was when Wanda asked, in the fourth episode, Wanda asked Roy if he
Anything you want me to
could
redo?
leave well enough alone, and then it reminded him of a friend from summer camp, Diane Von Well Enough. Yeah, I really like that twist of phrase there.
For like 10 years.
You actually knew somebody with the last name well enough.
That's fantastic.
But yeah, all in all, I don't like Fairly Odder. It's very unfaithful to the Fairly OddParents, but it's not all bad. It's very cheap at being a live-action animation hybrid, but on the plus side, it is far less unpleasant and mean-spirited than Out of Jimmy's Head. And I kind of enjoy Fairly Odder, ironically, because of how different it is from the Fairly OddParents, will claim to be part of it, and because they have enough good humor, they have enough not unpleasant humor to make watching all 13 episodes tolerable. But other than that, I don't think it's going to do many favors for Paramount Plus or Butch Hartman. for people who care about the Fairly OddParents. And I also hope that Fairly Odd, I really hope Nickelodeon takes Ellis Mark up on his offer to have a movie that would be a good ultimate finale to the series, because like they did with Vivian and Roy more in life, because I'm really ashamed that season 10 really should have had Timmy Turner share his phrase with Tootie instead of Chloe. Why do you speak of new girl when you already have another girl more miserable than Timmy that you super much Tootie shares with? That would be an interesting dynamic I'd like to see when Tootie has to spend more time with Timmy than usual, and they take turns speaking wishes like Vivian and Roy did.
Because I heard you wrestling around in there.
Well, I had turned the wrong switch off.